Hi, and welcome to Be Well with Miss Tonia. Today I'd like to speak with you about analyzing your behavior. The ability to analyze your own behavior allows you to determine what caused it and what maintained it. Knowing this is important if you want to change your own behavior. A chain analysis examines the chain of events that leads to ineffective behaviors, as well as the consequences of those behaviors that may be making it hard to change them. Also helps you figure out the damage. A missing link analysis helps you identify what got in the way of doing things you needed or helped to do, things you agreed to do, things others expected you to do, and it helps you problem solve for the future. In a chain analysis, the first thing we do is describe the specific problem behavior. What could it be? Overeating, overdrinking, yelling at your kids, throwing a chair, having an overwhelming emotional outburst, putting off or refusing to practice these skills. First, we must be very specific and detailed. Identify exactly what you did, said, thought, or felt. If your feelings are the targeted problem behavior, identify what you did not do. Describe the intensity of the behavior and other characteristics of the behavior that are important. Describe the problem behavior in enough detail that an actor in a movie could recreate the behavior exactly. If the behavior is something you did not do, ask yourself whether you did not know you needed to do it, it did not get into short-term memory then, or you forgot it and later it never came into your mind to do it. It did not get into long-term memory. You put it off when you did think about it. You refused to do it when you thought of it. You were willful and rejected doing it, or some other behavior, thought, or emotions interfered with doing it. Number 2, describe the specific prompting event. What started the whole chain of behavior? Begin with environmental events that started the chain. Possible questions to help are, what exact event happened suddenly to start the chain reaction? And then when did the sequence of events that led to the problem behavior begin, or when did the problem start? What was going on right before you thought of or the impulse for the problem behavior occurred? What were you doing, thinking, feeling, or imagining at the time? And why did the problem behavior happen on that day instead of the day before? Number 3, describe specific vulnerability factors. What factors or events made you more vulnerable to reacting to the prompting event? Some areas to examine are, maybe there was a physical illness, unbalanced eating, lack of sleep or injury, use of drugs or alcohol, misuse of prescription drugs, stressful events in the environment, positive or negative, intense emotions, sadness, anger, fear, or loneliness, previous behaviors of your own that you found stressful coming into your mind. Number 4 of the chain analysis, describe in detail the chain of events. What led to the problem behavior? Imagine that your problem behavior is chained to what suddenly happened. How long is the chain? Where does it go? What are the links? Write out all the links in the chain of events and be specific. Links in the chain can be actions or things that you do, body sensations or feelings, cognitions, for example, beliefs, expectations or thoughts, events in the environment of things others do, feelings and emotions that you experience. So it's the A, B, C, E, F for the links. What exact thought or belief, feeling, or action followed the prompting event? the start of the behavior. What thought, feeling, or action followed that? What next? And then what was next? And what was next? And so on and so forth. Look at each link in the chain after you write it. Was there another thought, feeling, or action that could have occurred? Could someone else have thought, felt, or acted differently at this point? Explain how that specific thought, feeling, or action came to be. For each link, is there a smaller link to describe? Number 5 in the chain analysis. Describe the consequences of this behavior. How did other people react immediately and later? How did you feel immediately following the behavior? How did you feel later? And what effect did the behavior have on you and your environment? 6, 7, and 8 is going to help us with changing the behavior. So number 6, describe in detail when you could have used a skillful behavior to head off the problem behavior. If you would have eliminated the problem behavior, would the problem behavior have even happened? Go back to what started it all. Circle each link where, if you had done something different, you could have avoided the behavior. What could you have done differently at each link to avoid the problem behavior? What skills could you have used? And number 7 in the chain analysis, describe in detail a prevention strategy for how you could have kept the chain from starting by reducing your vulnerability to the chain. And number 8 in the chain analysis, describe what you are going to do to repair the important or significant consequences of the problem behavior. Analyze what did you really harm? What negative consequence can you repair? Look at the harm you caused to others and yourself. Repair what you damaged. Don't bring flowers to repair a window that you broke. Fix the window. Repair a betrayal of trust by being very trustworthy long enough to fit the betrayal. Putting yourself down does not repair failure. Repair it by succeeding. Let's look at an example of a chain analysis of problem behavior. So number 1, the problem behavior I'm analyzing, drinking too much and driving drunk. Number 2, let's look at a prompting event in the environment that started the problem behavior, including what happened right before the urge or thought came into mind. Here goes the example. Monday, my sister from out of town called me and said that she wasn't going to be able to visit me next week, like she said she would, because her husband wanted her to attend an important business party with him. Number 3, describe what things in myself and in the environment made me vulnerable. An example could be, Sunday, I became vulnerable because my boyfriend said he had to take a business trip sometime in the next month. And I thought about that the entire week after he told me that. Let's look at links in the chain of events. On this side in this column, we have the chain of events. And in this column, we have the new or more skillful behaviors to replace the ineffective behaviors. The first link, I felt hurt and started crying on the phone with my sister, and I was very angry. But the new or more skillful behaviors to replace the ineffective behaviors using action, body sensations, thoughts, events, and feelings would be, listen to my sister and listen to why she could not come, instead of getting so angry. The second link in our example, I thought I couldn't stand it. No one loves me. But when we look at a new or more skillful behavior to replace the ineffective behavior in this column, we remember that my sister and my boyfriend loves me. A third link, I felt very ashamed once I hung up from talking to my sister. But a new or more skillful behavior, remember, using actions, body sensations, thoughts, events, and feelings is check the facts. Is my sister going to reject me over this? A fourth link, I thought my life is useless. No one will ever be here for me. And a newer, more skillful behavior to replace the ineffective behaviors. Call my sister back and apologize for being angry, since I know she will validate how I feel. And the fifth link in our example, I decided to drink a glass of wine to feel better, but ended up drinking the whole bottle. In number 5 of the link, a newer, more skillful behavior to replace the ineffective behavior, using actions, body sensations, thoughts, events, and feelings, may be walk down the street and have a dinner out because I won't drink too much in public. I hope this helps. What exactly were the consequences in the environment? Short term, I had to spend the night in jail. Long term, my boyfriend has less trust in me. My sister is very upset about it. What are the consequences in myself? Short term, I'm ashamed and furious with myself. Long term, I will have to pay more car insurance and may have trouble getting a job because of the DUI I got from drinking and driving. What harm did my problem behavior cause? It hurt me by giving me a DUI record. My sister feels guilty because she's upset with me. 7, prevention plans, ways to reduce my vulnerability in the future. Make plans for how to cope whenever my boyfriend is out of town. Ways to prevent precipitating events from happening again. I can't keep the precipitating event from happening, so I need to practice coping ahead and have plans for how to manage when I am home alone. Because obviously I have a problem being home alone, and when my boyfriend tells me he's going to be out of town or my sister says she can't visit me, it really causes me to be angry or act in such a way and accept feelings that are not really true, like I don't belong or they don't love me. Number 8, plans to repair, correct, and overcorrect the harm. Maybe I could apologize to my sister and reassure her that she has a perfect right to change her plans. Work with her to plan a new time for the visit. Or I could ask if it would be easier for her if I just came to visit her. Missing links analysis. Use this to figure out what got in the way of doing things you needed or hoped to do, or things you agreed to do, or others expected you to do. Use this information to problem solve. Number 1, did I know what effective behavior was needed or expected? Yes or no? If you answered yes to question 1, was I willing to do what was needed? Yes or no? If yes to question 2, did the thought of doing what was needed or expected, did it ever enter your mind? Yes or no? If yes to question 3, what got in the way of doing what was needed or expected right away? Describe the problem solving. For more information, please check out our website, www.dcsirish.com. Follow us on Instagram, Dublin City Schools Irish, or go to our YouTube channel, Be Well with Miss Tonia. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to be well.